Imagine this. After years of hard work and saving every penny, I finally moved into my dream home in Sunnyvale Estates, a quiet suburban neighborhood in Florida. Green lawns, friendly smiles, and the promise of peaceful living. My name is Alex, a 35-year-old software engineer who works from home. All I wanted was a simple life, a small backyard garden, occasional barbecues with friends, and some peace and quiet. Little did I know that my peaceful dream was about to turn into a 2-year nightmare thanks to one woman, the HOA President Karen Thompson. Just 2 weeks after moving in, I received my first surprise in the mailbox, a $150 fine for excessive grass height. My lawn was barely half an inch over the rule. I had been busy unpacking boxes and missed one mowing day. I politely emailed the board asking for a simple warning, as the bylaws suggested, but the reply came directly from Karen herself. Rules are rules. Pay the fine or face daily penalties. That cold response was the first red flag. I paid it, thinking it was just a one-time thing, but I was wrong, very wrong. Over the next few months, the fines kept pouring in. $200 for my trash can being out 10 minutes late, $100 because I washed my car on the driveway one evening, $250 for a tiny tear in my American flag that I hadn't even noticed. I tried to talk to Karen nicely. One evening, I went to her house with a plate of fresh cookies and said, "Look, I'm new here. Can we please work this out like neighbors?" She crossed her arms, smirked, and replied, "If you can't follow simple rules, maybe you shouldn't live here." Her arrogant tone made my blood boil, but I stayed calm. That was the moment I decided. I wouldn't fight her with anger. I would fight her with her own rules. One weekend, I decided to build a small 6 by 8 feet wooden shed in my backyard for storage. It was completely on my property, hidden behind the fence and matched the neighborhood colors. I even got the official permit from the city. I was so proud of my work. It looked clean and professional. But just 2 days later, I received a $500 fine and a demand to tear it down immediately because the HOA Aesthetic Committee hadn't pre-approved it. Karen made it clear in the notice, higher standards than the city. I knew then that this was personal. I attended the monthly HOA meeting and presented my city permit along with photos of the shed. The room was packed. Karen stood up at the podium like a queen and announced loudly, "The HOA has higher standards than the city. Tear it down or we'll put a lien on your house." The entire room went dead silent. No one dared to speak against Karen. I looked around and saw fear in people's eyes. That night, I realized I wasn't the only one suffering. At least 8 other families had similar horror stories about Karen's petty fines and power trips. Something had to change. From that day, I became the most obedient resident on paper, but behind the scenes, I started documenting everything. I installed security cameras pointed at my own property. I joined a secret group chat with other victims. Most importantly, I read the HOA bylaws line by line like a lawyer. I discovered that Karen herself was breaking many rules. Her boat parked too long, loud parties past curfew, and even misusing HOA funds for her personal luxury golf cart. I quietly collected photos, videos, timestamps, and public records for months. I was preparing for war, but a completely legal one. I quietly campaigned door to door with printed packets of facts, never lies, just the truth. When election day came, the results shocked everyone. Karen lost her president position by a huge margin. I became the new vice president, and 2 of my allies joined the board. Karen sat in the corner looking completely stunned. The power she had held for years was slipping away. For the first time, the neighborhood felt hope. But I knew the real battle was still coming. With the new board in control, we ordered a full independent audit of the last 3 years of HOA finances. The auditor uncovered over $18,000 in questionable spending, mostly Karen's personal expenses, parties, and even a vacation disguised as a board retreat. We presented everything to all homeowners in a special meeting. Karen tried to fight back. She hired a lawyer and threatened to sue everyone, but the evidence was rock solid. In the end, the court ordered Karen to repay $14,500 to the HOA, plus all legal fees. She was permanently banned from holding any board position again. Her reputation was destroyed in front of the entire neighborhood. A few months later, a for sale sign appeared in Karen's yard. I watched from my window as the moving truck arrived. Karen looked defeated, carrying boxes with her head down. Neighbors stood at a distance, quietly watching. She had sold her house at a loss and was moving away. The woman who had terrorized the neighborhood for years was finally gone. The satisfaction I felt that day was indescribable. Today, Sunnyvale Estates has fair and reasonable rules. No more petty fines. My shed is still standing, my garden is thriving, and the community feels like a real neighborhood again. The lesson from all this? Never underestimate a quiet person who decides to fight back using the system's own rules. If you've ever dealt with a power-tripping HOA or Karen neighbor, tell me your story in the comments. Like this video if you enjoyed the revenge, and subscribe for more real HOA revenge stories. Stay smart, stay legal, and never let bullies win.